It usually starts with this, a really mundane moment.
Yeah, just an everyday thing at the office.
Right. You're sitting at your desk, you type a quick prompt into an AI tool, and within maybe 3 seconds, it spits out this beautifully structured, comprehensive report.
A report that would have taken you, what, 4 days of stressful writing?
Exactly. 4 days of stressful, caffeine-fueled panic. And for a second, you feel this massive rush of relief.
Oh, absolutely. Feels like magic.
But right beneath that, if you're really being honest with yourself, there is this very quiet, very cold fear.
Because you aren't just asking if a machine can do your job.
Right. You're actually asking an identity question. You're asking, do humans still matter?
It truly is the defining anxiety of our era. Because we aren't just talking about a new piece of software that makes us type faster.
No, not at all.
We are being forced, in real time, to completely dismantle and rebuild our definition of what intelligence actually is.
Welcome, listeners, to another My Mind MashUps deep dive, where we unravel mysteries, spark curiosity, and make sense of complex ideas together.
It is a profound one today, for sure.
Yeah, it really is. And before we jump in, I want to take a moment to thank all the listeners that showed their appreciation by buying us a coffee. If you would like to support our channel, the link is in the description below.
We really appreciate the support.
We do. Also, I want to remind listeners we are now available on Apple Podcasts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and remind listeners, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy content that makes you think.
So, getting right into it, the data we are looking at today is essentially trying to map the new fault lines between human capability and machine processing.
Right. And as a reminder, every deep dive we do is about sparking curiosity, challenging assumptions, and expanding understanding.
Always.
Today, we are pulling from an absolute powerhouse stack of sources to try to figure out what the human edge actually is. I mean, we've got the Stanford HAI 2026 AI Index,
Which is packed with new data.
we have the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025, plus incredible new research from MIT Sloan, Microsoft, Carnegie Mellon, and the OECD.
It's a heavy-hitting lineup.
It really is. So let's start by challenging an assumption. For my entire life, society has essentially treated intelligence like a race car.
Like it's all about raw speed.
Exactly. If you had massive memory capacity, if you could process information at lightning speed, and if you could recognize patterns instantly, you were a genius.
And that is exactly the illusion we have to break.
Yeah.
Because if that is our only definition of intelligence, just speed and pattern recognition, then the machines have already won.
We wouldn't even need to debate it.
We really wouldn't.
But
Let's look at the data from the Stanford 2026 AI Index. The frontier models right now are accelerating at just a staggering pace.
it feels like it's changing every week.
It does. And by the way, 90% of these frontier models are now being built by private industry, not academia.
Meaning they have endless money behind them.
Essentially, yes. The resources are practically limitless. And these models are now meeting or outright exceeding human baselines on PhD-level science questions.
Wait, let's pause there. When
Okay.
you say PhD level, what does that actually look like in practice? Like, are we talking about answering a multiple choice test or something more complex?
Much more complex. We're talking about advanced multimodal reasoning and high-level mathematics.
Okay, wow.
Let's take the SWE Bench Software Engineering Benchmark as an example.
Okay.
This isn't just asking an AI to write a simple script. This involves dropping thousands of lines of messy, interconnected code into the AI, asking it to find a deeply hidden bug, and having it autonomously write the patch to fix it.
That sounds incredibly difficult.
It is. 2 years ago, AI could solve about 60% of those tasks. Today, according to the Stanford report, it is solving nearly 100% of them.
Seriously?
Yeah, it is essentially perfect.
Okay, let's unpack this, because if I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, well, I'm obsolete.
Right, that's the natural reaction.
Yeah. If it's performing at a PhD level in science and writing flawless code patches across entire software ecosystems, it's very easy to assume it has a superhuman brain.
But it doesn't really work like that.
Right. The analogy that always comes to mind for me is that AI right now is kind of like a brilliant scholar who can solve the most complex quantum physics equations in the universe. But if you hand them a pair of sneakers and ask them to tie their own shoes, they just stare at you completely paralyzed.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. What's fascinating here is that in the research community, they actually refer to this as the jagged frontier of AI capabilities.
The jagged frontier.
Yes. You see, human intelligence develops somewhat linearly. If you meet a human who has the cognitive capacity to pass the bar exam or write a PhD thesis.
You assume they know how to cross the street.
Exactly. You can safely assume that person also knows how to navigate a grocery store or tell time or hold a conversation without glitching out.
Right, because complex skills build on top of a foundation of basic common sense.
But the AI doesn't have that foundation.
None at all.
It has no physical anchor in reality. That same Stanford report that highlights the PhD-level science mastery also points out that AI models still have only a 50.1% accuracy rate when asked to read an analog clock.
Wait, a 50% accuracy rate?
A coin toss.
So it's literally a coin toss if the world's most advanced computer can tell you it's 3:15. How is that even possible?
So we have to remember the mechanism of how AI actually operates. AI is not thinking.
Right, it doesn't have a mind.
It doesn't know what a clock is. It doesn't understand the concept of time passing. It is a prediction engine.
Okay.
It has become profoundly excellent at producing plausible, structured output from patterns in massive data sets.
So it's just guessing what should come next based on the map?
Exactly. It looks at the pixels of the clock face and calculates the statistical probability of what numbers usually correspond to those pixels and its training data.
Wow, so it's a parlor trick.
It's a highly advanced, incredibly useful parlor trick, but a trick nonetheless.
And that jagged frontier applies to how it uses computers too, right? Like everyday tasks.
Yes, absolutely. The Stanford report also looked at the IS World Benchmark.
What's that?
This tests a system's ability to autonomously complete everyday computer tasks. So imagine asking the AI to open a web browser, navigate a specific airline website, clear a pop-up ad, and download a receipt.
Sounds pretty basic.
It is for us, but AI still fails roughly 1 in 3 times on these basic tasks.
1 in 3, why?
It gets confused by a weirdly placed button or a pop-up because it doesn't actually understand the intent of a pop-up.
Oh, that makes sense. So we have this incredibly capable but fundamentally blind prediction engine.
Perfectly said.
Which raises a massive question about our own daily habits. I mean, we are all integrating these tools into our workflows.
I rely on them constantly.
Yeah, so if this tool is brilliant at sounding authoritative but terrible at actual common sense judgment, what happens to our own brains when we rely on it every single day?
This is where the research gets deeply concerning. We are stepping into the danger of outsourcing the mind.
Outsourcing the mind.
Researchers from Microsoft and Carnegie Mellon conducted a study on knowledge workers. They collected over 900 examples of generative AI use in the workplace and surveyed the workers about their processes.
Okay, what did they find?
What they found was a direct, measurable correlation between trust and cognitive laziness.
Oh, wow.
To put it simply, for every ounce of confidence a worker gained in the AI, their own critical thinking dropped by nearly an identical amount. It was almost a one-to-one trade-off.
So the more we trust the tool to do the thinking, the more our own brains just clock out.
Yes, the academic term for this is cognitive offloading.
Cognitive offloading.
Users start bypassing their own cognitive processes.
Yeah.
They stop evaluating the information, they stop questioning the logic, and they just defer judgment to the machine.
That is terrifying.
It is. And the general public is starting to sense that something is wrong here. We have public sentiment data from Pew Research and Stanford from 2025 and 2026.
What does the public think?
It shows that half of U.S. adults are now more concerned than excited about AI.
Yeah.
64% of Americans expect AI to significantly reduce jobs.
That's a huge shift in sentiment.
It is. And perhaps most tellingly, AI incident reports, which track instances where AI went wrong in the real world, jumped from 233 in 2024 to 362.
Wow.
Responsible oversight simply isn't keeping pace with the adoption rate.
But let me push back on this a little bit because I want to make sure we're not just being alarmist.
Fair enough.
Isn't the entire point of technology to offload cognitive burden? If I need to multiply 4,500 by 37, I use a calculator.
Right.
I don't sit there with a piece of paper and do it in my head. I've offloaded that cognition to the calculator, and nobody thinks that's a bad thing.
True.
So why is using AI to summarize a long email thread or draft a strategy report any different?
It's a crucial distinction. A calculator executes a fixed deterministic rule. There is one right answer, and the calculator just gets you there faster.
Okay, that makes sense.
AI does not use deterministic rules. It provides probabilistic judgment and synthesis.
Ah, so it's guessing, not calculating.
Exactly. A recent paper from the 2025 CHI conference explores this, and they call it hidden fragility.
Hidden fragility. What does that mean in practice?
Think about it like a GPS system, right?
Yeah.
Before we had GPS on our phones, you had to build a mental map of your city. You You had to pay attention to landmarks, understand cardinal directions, and synthesize information.
I remember having a physical map in my glove box.
Well, we all did.
Yeah.
But when you outsource that navigation to a GPS, your internal map atrophies.
Oh, 100%.
Now, if the GPS tells you to turn left into a lake, a surprising number of people will actually do it because they've completely lost their spatial judgment.
Because they aren't paying attention to reality anymore.
Right. The CHI paper argues that when we substitute human reasoning with AI, we draw down human capabilities that take years to build and are incredibly hard to restore. If you don't do the mental heavy lifting of reading those emails, synthesizing the conflicting arguments, and deciding what matters, your capacity for complex judgment rots.
So it's like putting your brain in a cast. When you finally take the cast off 6 months later, the muscle has completely withered away.
Precisely. The research argues that to survive this era, our critical thinking must pivot. We don't need to generate the raw text anymore.
So what do we do?
Instead, human cognition must shift heavily toward verification and task stewardship. We have to be the evaluators.
We have to grade the AI's homework.
Exactly. We're the ones who have to inject reality, context, and physical consequence into the AI's plausible patterns.
If this is resonating, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next deep dive.
It's such an important shift in mindset.
Okay, so if outsourcing our judgment is dangerous and our new role is to be the ultimate verifiers, it forces us to define what we bring to the table.
It does.
What is the human edge? What are the specific human capacities that an AI fundamentally cannot replicate no matter how many billions of parameters it gets?
To answer that, we can look at a framework developed by MIT Sloan. They call it the EPOCH framework.
EPOCH, like the era, EPOCH.
Yes, exactly. It stands for empathy, presence, opinion, which also covers ethics, creativity, and hope.
I love that.
Their research shows that jobs heavily reliant on these 5 traits are far less susceptible to automation because AI operates on mass historical data, while these traits require deeply contextual, lived experience.
Let's break those down because empathy and creativity get talked about a lot, but what does presence mean in a professional setting?
Think about a crisis in a boardroom or a doctor delivering bad news to a patient.
Okay.
Presence is the physical reality of holding space. It's the subtle body language, the shared breathing, the physical grounding that tells another human being, I am here with you in this difficult moment.
And AI is just pixels on a screen.
Exactly. It has no physical presence. Or take hope. Hope isn't just a warm feeling.
What is it in business?
In a business context, hope is a leader looking at a spreadsheet that says a project is going to fail, but projecting a vision anyway, rallying a team based on an intuitive belief in their potential.
Taking a leap of faith.
Yes, AI cannot generate hope because it only predicts based on past data. It cannot make a leap of faith.
And opinion or ethics, that's about taking a stand, right? Saying, I know the data suggests we should do X, but I believe Y is the right thing to do.
Precisely. AI can't do that because it doesn't have a personal moral compass.
But here's where it gets really interesting, and I want to push back on the empathy part.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because I know some people are going to argue that AI can simulate empathy perfectly well. I've read countless articles about people emotionally bonding with AI companions, pouring their hearts out and feeling completely understood.
It happens all the time now.
Right. So if the AI says the perfect comforting words and it feels real to the user, does it actually matter if it's simulated?
This raises an important question, and it's one of the most hotly debated topics in human-computer interaction right now.
I bet.
But let's look at the mechanics of empathy. There was a fascinating recent study published in Nature Human Behavior, which was summarized by Harvard Business School.
What did they do?
They wanted to test how people actually respond to empathy when they know where it comes from.
Okay.
They found that participants consistently rated responses labeled as human as significantly more empathic than responses labeled as AI.
Even if it was the exact same response?
Yes, even when the AI provided high-quality, perfectly articulated words of support.
Wait, so the exact same words are received differently just because of a label. Why?
Because true empathy requires lived stakes. It requires liability.
Liability? Like having skin in the game.
Exactly. AI can simulate the vocabulary of care, but it cannot take moral responsibility. It doesn't have skin in the game.
That is so profound.
It cannot know the world through physical experience, through pain, through risk, through memory, or through survival.
Yeah, it hasn't survived anything.
Right. When a human expresses empathy, it carries weight because that human knows what it feels like to hurt. The AI is just mathematically predicting the next most comforting word based on 1 trillion internet forum posts.
It's just doing math.
It can recommend, but it cannot be responsible.
That makes so much sense. It's the shared vulnerability behind the words that gives them power. The AI has nothing to lose, so its comfort is ultimately hollow.
Completely hollow.
So, bringing this all down to earth, having established this profound difference between human wisdom and machine patterns, how does this actually play out in the real world?
It's changing everything.
Like, what is happening to the workplace right now?
Well, the landscape is shifting dramatically. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025 projects that a massive 39% of core skills will change by 2030.
39%! That's almost half of what we do.
Yes, but we are already seeing how this impacts productivity right now.
Yeah.
There was a massive field experiment involving over 5,000 call center workers.
Okay, what did they find there?
They gave these workers a generative AI assistant, and overall, productivity jumped by 14%.
It's a solid boost.
It is, but the crucial detail is how that boost was distributed. The AI boosted productivity for novice workers by 34%.
Wait, 34%? How did it actually do that? Was it just typing their responses faster?
No, it was acting as an instant mentor.
An instant mentor.
Imagine a brand new employee dealing with a furious customer. Usually, that novice would freeze, fumble through a manual, and escalate the call.
Yeah, that's the classic new guy experience.
Right. But the AI listened to the conversation, instantly synthesized the customer's problem, dug through the entire corporate knowledge base, and fed the novice the exact perfect response that a 10-year veteran would naturally use.
Oh, wow. So it's essentially taking the hardest earned experiential knowledge and disseminating it instantly.
Yes, it's a massive leveler. It brings the bottom performers right up to the average baseline almost overnight.
That's incredible. But what does that mean for the veterans?
Well, because AI handles those routine baseline tasks so well, the skills employers actually want to hire for are changing entirely.
So what are they looking for now?
The OECD conducted an analysis of over 150,000 job postings for 2026. What they found is a steep decline in mentions of routine tasks. Employers just assume the AI will do that.
Right. They don't need you to just process data anymore.
Exactly. Instead, they're aggressively prioritizing human-centric skills.
Like the EPOCH framework traits.
Yes. They're looking for analytical thinking, resilience, leadership, self-awareness, model validation, and prompt engineering. They want people who can manage the AI, not compete with it.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
That is the million-dollar question.
It means that trying to race the machine at what it does best, speed, memorization, basic drafting, is a completely losing battle. The goal isn't to be a faster machine. The goal is to use the machine as a collaborator.
Exactly, you have to partner with it.
I love the analogy from a recent piece in the Harvard Gazette. They said AI should be a wise owl sitting on your shoulder.
I love that visual.
Right. You let the owl do the grunt work, let it sort the data, draft the boring emails, and fix the code bugs. And you use the time you save to do the deeper meaning making, the strategy, the human connection.
It's the ultimate hybrid model. You maintain your evaluative agency.
To stay in control.
You don't become a rubber stamp for the AI, You act as its director, constantly checking its jagged frontier against the physical reality of your business.
Like, comment, and subscribe to hear more My Mind Mashups deep dives.
If we pull all these threads together, from the Stanford data to the MIT frameworks, the overarching narrative becomes clear.
And what is that?
AI is here to stay, and its widespread adoption is a massive economic force.
That's not a fad.
Not at all. The St. Louis Fed noted that AI users became 33% more productive per hour, and this is going to significantly raise aggregate productivity across the entire global economy.
Which is a good thing for everyone,
Yeah.
ideally.
However, we often hear this blanket comforting claim that, well, AI cannot replace humans.
Yeah, people love to say that to feel safe.
According to the data we've looked at today, that claim is a bit too broad and maybe a little naive.
Yeah.
The more accurate truth is that AI will replace tasks.
Right.
It is going to automate workflows, coding, and drafting. But it fundamentally cannot replace the human sources of meaning, moral responsibility, and lived judgment.
It's almost like the technology is challenging us to double down on our humanity.
That's a beautiful way to phrase it.
And I want to leave you with the final provocative thought to mull over. We've spent this whole time talking about how AI is rapidly becoming the ultimate perfection engine.
It really is.
It churns out flawless code, it writes perfectly formatted reports, it generates grammatically impeccable email.
Everything is polished.
But in a world where perfection is automated and infinite, what if human imperfection becomes the ultimate premium?
Oh, that's interesting.
What if our quirks, our highly subjective tastes, our unpredictable curiosity, and those weird intuitive leaks we make, what if those become the most valuable assets in the universe precisely because a machine can't replicate them?
That is a fascinating perspective. When artificial perfection becomes cheap and abundant, the human flaw might just be the unmistakable signature of true value.
I love that. Find My Mind mashups everywhere you listen. Amazon Music, Audible, Facebook, Pocket Casts, Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and now available on Apple Podcasts.
Such a great discussion today.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective could shape our next deep dive.
Keep questioning everything.
And keep being brilliantly human.